Once again, ladies and gentlemen, France has inserted itself into the Amazonian conflict. Again, last week, Tapang Ivo Tanku sued Nsahlai Emmanuel, who operates a law firm in California for, demanding $100,000 in fines in what he described as crimes against him in the form of defamation from Nsahlai Emmanuel. Now, you will all recall that in January, Nsahlai Emmanuel had sent out statements to the White House, to the State Department, and to security agencies in the USA, essentially indicting some of us, yours truly included, for perpetuating crimes, terrorism, and so forth, also on and so forth in La République du Cameroon. Tapang Ivo last week was the first person to sue Nsahlai Emmanuel in the California court, demanding damages worth $100,000. Now, recently, I think 2 days ago, Nsahlai Emmanuel responded to Tapang Ivo's lawsuit in this way. This is what he wrote, sent to the Guardian Post. Nsahlai said, and I quote, "I have been informed of a defamation lawsuit filed against me. Let me state this unequivocally. I am not intimidated, nor is my resolve in any way weakened. This lawsuit is nothing more than a desperate and futile attempt to silence my unwavering pursuit of justice for the innocent civilians who have suffered at the hands of separatists and terrorists." Again, that is Nsahlai Emmanuel responding to Tapang Ivo. He continued, "For years, I have dedicated my legal expertise to dismantling terrorist financial networks, exposing those who incite and orchestrate violence, and ensuring that the perpetrators of heinous crimes against innocent men, women, and children are held accountable. My actions are driven," he said, "by an unshakable commitment to justice, the rule of law, and the protection of victims. Just this past week, I filed new..." Now, this is again Nsahlai saying that just last week, he filed new legal complaints, some other frivolous complaints as usual, of course, with several executive, legislative, and judiciary bodies. He doesn't mention where that was. He said, providing indisputable evidence that Tapang Ivo Tanku is directly involved in terrorism activities. His role in financing, inciting, and planning acts of terror against civilians has been extensively documented. That is, again, Nsahlai Emmanuel writing, responding to Tapang Ivo. He continues, "This lawsuit is nothing more than a smokescreen to deflect from the overwhelming body of evidence against him." Nsahlai writes, he concludes, Let me be clear. No lawsuit will deter me from my mission. No amount of legal maneuvering will erase the crimes committed against innocent civilians. The truth is on my side," he says, "and I will continue to work relentlessly to ensure that justice prevails. I have full confidence in the legal system, and I welcome the opportunity to expose the facts. This lawsuit will not protect those responsible. It will always shine a brighter light on their actions." Again, gentlemen and ladies, that is Nsahlai Emmanuel responding to the lawsuit from Tapang Ivo. Now, you will recall that I have been in court. Nsahlai Emmanuel says he has all the facts, all the proof, all the evidence to every lawsuit that he files. Now, don't forget, Nsahlai sued me twice and lost twice. And he is not going to win against Tapang Ivo and the rest of the lawsuits which are still in the making. But I'd like to hear what my guests think about this response from Tapang from Nsahlai, Emmanuel. Mola, I would like to start with you. You are the lawyer out there, please. Let me start with you. What do you think about this response from Nsahlai, Emmanuel, please?
I'll start with the general point about all lawyers. Lawyers are allowed to take cases. It doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes, if you refuse to take certain cases, they might sue you for discrimination. In order to deny a case, you have to prove why you don't have to take the case. Because sometimes people might take cases that we might not like. That's a general rule. It's not a rule by me or what, especially in the United Kingdom. Somebody comes and that's it. I must also say this before I answer your point. Salah is my junior man. We went to CPC Mali. We're there in the national dialogue. I can say it's a friend. But let's come out from that one, being a friend. Talking politics or talking about law, I distinguish those two things is different. I have my family, friends who are SDF, CPTM or what, that's their problem. So to go back to the point, from the response you said about what Mr. Salah is talking about, he said he has got the right to fight terrorism, fighting for this. To the best of my knowledge, if you look at Article 8, Sub 2 in the Constitution of Cameroon, those are the function of the president of the country. So maybe the government or the president have dedicated his power to him. I don't know. So because at the end of the day, he cannot be saying that he has a right to fight terrorists or what. He's a lawyer. If somebody instructs you to do a case, do your case, but don't put it as if it's the state. I don't know if the government of Cameroon have asked it. Because defamation, yes. Before I sue somebody for defamation too, I must first check as the person got money. Because if you go and win a case, the person haven't got money, you have wasted your time. So those type of civil litigation, you have to know if the person have money. If you just want to go and win and waste your time and energy, it's a different thing. But again, I should say we are being run by La Republique that have annexed British Cameroon, and everybody try to use and do what they want to do. I don't understand. I cannot point a finger for any person, but to me, at the end of the day, it's not about flexing muscle. I don't know the full detail of the case. I could have given you my opinion, but I cannot stand and say, oh, it's gonna succeed or it's not gonna succeed or whatsoever. But I want to say I respect Salah as a lawyer. He's a lawyer. I will not stand and talk. He's my junior man. I don't use those things. He know what he's doing or what he's saying. But all I can say, from what he said, to fight terrorism, to fight is not a job of a lawyer to fight terrorism. If somebody instructs you that this have happened to me, represent me legally, I will understand. The one you say you want to fight terrorism, you want to fight for justice for people, no. My job as a lawyer is not to fight for justice for people or fight terrorism. My job is that, Mr. Chris, you come and see me, you instruct me, this, I have this problem. I advise you in accordance to the law. I am not a terrorism fighter or to fight for justice. If I want to fight justice, I become an activist like myself and I fight for justice. That is how you do it.
All right. Metro Conf, what is your take on this Nsahlai response to Tapang's lawsuit?
My brother is not listening. Look, Nsahlai might be a practicing lawyer, but he's just a mere hunting dog for the regime in Yaoundé. Nsahlai is no different from Atanganji. It's just that Nsahlai has the luxury of operating from without the borders of the Republic of Cameroon in the diaspora. You see, first and foremost, Don Salah maybe he has a mandate from the president of the Republic of Cameroon. We never know because he has never presented it or nobody has ever asked him. But the question is, who is Salah's plaintiff? He's standing there as a defense for the plaintiffs, and then we only have the defendant. The plaintiff's attorney. We have a defendant like Tapang. Let's
Well,
also record that Tapang was.
you'll be surprised that in one of the lawsuits that Nsahlai filed against me in California, one of his plaintiffs was Ekema Patrick, the deceased Ekema Patrick.
Let me come, Comrade Chris here. Yeah. The question is, who is the plaintiff? Yeah, that's the question. If it is also true that it's Nsahlai who filed a case against Benedict Kwa in the US of the egg of C and Dr. Ayabacho, who is still under detention now. Yeah, the question is, that's why the Norwegian cannot even prove who is the plaintiff, and they are still wobbling themselves behind and asking questions, unable to present the case forward. But though it is their matter, they have stuck their hand in the cookie jar. It is stuck there. And who brought the whole problem inside? Like, there's no place you will see that people are coming to come and stand that I am the plaintiff against this case. No, but Nsahlai is always there, rushing his mouth, standing ahead, getting whether he's being paid what type of money or in the end, it's Nsahlai going down. He has never even won a case. Because after Tapan won the case against him in the California as a rape, Tapa became so crazy that he could not believe Tapan won that case because he thought he had all the evidence because they are all in his head. He's
Yeah.
hearing about they are killing people, they are killing people here and there. Can he justify? Can he prove that? He's going ahead to addressing Tapang like maybe a terrorist and some of this our leaders like terrorists. But can he prove that they are terrorists? No. So Nsahlai, he himself is in fire. And this is one of the people that they don't even have Paul Bia's telephone number or any top official. They're only dealing with one top CPDM member who's giving them some chicken coins behind the scene just to go ahead and destabilize the entire atmosphere in the name of defending the country. Nsahlai himself is in trouble. It is only sad that he comes from our own Amazonia, where his placenta was buried. What a shame.
Well, indeed, a shame indeed. I don't know if Mola Lisinge has anything to add or to subtract from what you've just said.
Well, there is nothing much to add, and I will just emphasize because I remember some more than 20 years. Somebody asked me, "Can you defend a murder in this country?" I said, "No, the person is innocent until proven guilty." So it is not a murder until they prove it in court because the essence you take evidence to court is for it to be scrutinized. That's why we have court. So that's it. So to be honest, sometimes I'm saying it is nice when we have this proof, we take it to court so that the evidence should be scrutinized and the judge should see it and make a decision. That's an Anglo-Saxon way. So I welcome that.